God is your best friend. Treat him like one. This has been something that I can't get around my head enough. In this day and age, we have too many lukewarm Christians. Too many lukewarm Christians, honestly. It's starting to get a bit like defeating the point of being a Christian, right? I feel like too many people are so focused on claiming that they're Christian instead of actually doing the role and participating as the person of a role who is Christian. Because as a Christian, we're meant to live for Christ. But for so many people, it's just claiming that they are Christian and then never doing any of the things, and then realising why their faith isn't aligning with what they're doing, and they're starting to have, strange things happen to them all the time. But that's kind of like the main purpose of that, of being a lukewarm Christian. But the main reason why you clicked on this video is to understand why should I treat God as my best friend? How can that make sense to me, and how can I work around that? Well, the whole point of being a Christian is to find yourself. Find yourself. Don't be too shy. Don't be too, close-minded and not open-minded, right? Because what you want to do is you want to appeal. You want to just go for it. And you want to really start engaging with Christ and being more like Jesus every day. More like our Saviour Yahweh. But how can we do that? Well, we treat him like a best friend. God is your best friend. Treat him like one. Why and how? Well, let's start with how. So, how is just, like we would in the physical form of talking and having effective communication with our friends. Be like a comrade. Be like a comrade to Jesus Christ. Because although he may not be able to talk to you in the physical form, he's still there in the spiritual form. And what that does is it creates this momentum. Now, a lot of the time, people will honestly ask, well, why is nothing happening? Why is nothing good happening to me, right? Well, that's because it's onto the physical form. The physical form is basically just our external results. But you have to understand, internal thoughts are immeasurably going to happen first. They are always going to happen first, no matter where or what you're trying to achieve. Whether it starts in here and in here. But there was this thing that I was looking at on YouTube recently, and this is by shout out to Latoya Okia, by the way. I really recommend you check their channel out. They've got a really passionate voice and they talk about this a lot. And recently, one of their videos was, God always searches your heart first. Did you pass the heart test? And that really struck me, because I felt like, well, this is true. It's true, because God is going to search through your heart, which is internal. No one's going to see what your external is first. The only reason they do that is because the world, or being a person of the world, that's what it's all about. But you have to understand, internal processes are going to happen way before the physical results come. And that's the point you need to make. That's the decision you need to make. Are you going to pass the heart test? Are you going to be the one that's going to push forward and achieve goals that you thought were impossible to you? Are you going to be the one that's going to help others? Are you going to be the one that shows that you're a comrade instead of just treating people like competition? Are you the one that's going to create more horizontal relationships and not just vertical relationships about status and wealth and trying to prove that you're better or worse than anyone else? We're all equal on this planet. We're all equal. That's what you need to understand, is that we're all equal. No one is different from one another. And we all have our own mind. And that's the thing. When God searches through your heart and you've been treating him like a best friend, and you read the Bible every day, or you do something, do something Christ-like every day, walk around with it. Walk around with that Christ-like mentality. Don't just treat it like a chore. Don't just make it something you have to do. Because if you have to do it, then you're not going to find it enjoyable. But what you need to do is you need to find a way to make it something that's just in alignment with who you are. In alignment with who you are, but you're also walking with that faith, and you're taking him with you wherever you go. You're taking him with you. He's a best friend that is always going to be there for you. He's a best friend that's always going to be in search of your desires. He's always going to be looking into your heart, because that's where he first searches. So, God is your best friend. Treat him like one. Don't be closed-minded. Be open-minded. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.